This man grabbed a rock and it hit me in my face because I would have given him my number. And all y'all just watch.
There is some subset of women who have some unrealistic expectations of what masculinity should be, including putting your life on the line to save a stranger. But then that gets turned into, see how these women want us to protect them physically with our bodies, but they refuse to be our sexual slaves across the entire civilization.
That's
and it's
that responded that she was hit in the head with a brick after she refused to give her phone number to a guy on the street.
And was that verified by any of the evidence that detectives looked at?
No.
I'm not apologizing for a motherfucking thing.
Yeah, we ain't got shit to apologize about. We handled that conversation with very tactfully.
Anyway, she's a scammer, it looks like, and you know what I'm saying? Let's keep it moving. Women do get assaulted like a motherfucker for rejecting people. That's why she's chose that particular story, because it's some shit that actually happens. Are there scammers? Of course. Because I think even at the time I had some little micro doubts, but you know.
You should still be able to okay, I really want to wait and see what the evidence is while giving the space for the alleged victim. Because you don't have to come down I think you lying. You ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just another instance of another woman. As Alvin would say, by and large, a lot of women don't lie about this type of thing. But at the same time, I don't believe all of fucking nothing.
And I think that's totally fucking reasonable. But I think my issue is they don't want innocent until proven guilty. What they want is this is lying until proven otherwise. And I feel like
it's a red flag.
Yo, nigga, I'm feeling real gritty right now.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I want to hit the bricks, get the block. You know what I'm saying? Flip half a
stack
chick,
it up.
Whole chick. Hey, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see Giancarlo Esposito doing a fit check? Somebody caught him for a street interview, and they were like, "What's the key to fashion?" He pointed to his hat, pointed to his shoes. He said, "Top, bottom. Forget about it."
Forget about it. Fuck all the middle.
He was so New York with it. He was like,
forget about it. Fuck everything. Torso, legs.
It don't matter.
Cashmere, baby.
We out here in Manhattan, in the Bronx, Bed-Stuy.
Balenciaga shoes, nigga. That's all you need,
on the stoop. You know what I'm saying? Man. We finally got some brothers up on the wall. I appreciate that.
The good brothers and sisters from New York, man. I tell you, they're a different breed, man.
They different. They different. I love it. They probably look at us crazy too, but I feel like I love it. I love it.
Yeah, they got a cool swag to them, man.
Well, hey, folks, this is Waving the Red Flag, the #1 New York hustle and dating podcast in the universe. It's your boy Eddie. It's Josh. Welcome to the Bronx. It's, you know what I'm saying? You know what it is?
Down Bronx, nigga.
Speaking of fucking, there's no segue here. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Brick Lady, what's up?
Fuck it.
What we think? Yeah, that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to build shit brick by brick, even if you don't got the starting ingredients. You know, that's what it is. You just got to lay shit down, stack it up. You know.
Right, and we don't care if you don't like it just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Perfect. So apparently, I watched a little bit of stuff, and apparently, Brick Lady, who
this man hit me, grabbed a rock and it hit me in my face because I would have given him my number. And all y'all just watched.
Did she accept that name anyway? What's her name? Osman, who basically, we kind of had a conversation about it. Clip.
A number of the reasons why people decide to harm, or the number of the reasons why people decide to, once again, lash out is from a human emotion. It may not be a healthy emotion, but it's from a human emotion. You made me feel small, right? You made me feel insignificant.
Violence against women, blah, 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 all that shit. Now it seems like from the evidence that has been said in the article from the Houston police, she was on some bullshit. That said, and I want to hear your take first, but that said, it feels like people are taking the headline and not reading the article from some of the responses I'm seeing. Because I saw a nigga in our comments scroll back 6 months to comment on that original video to be like, see, I've been holding on to this, and he wrote a paragraph. It's like,
whole ass,
because I knew it. I was like, bro, shut the fuck up.
Bro, just chill, my nigga. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, I was holding on to this for moments like this. You know what I'm saying? I used to wait for times like these. Come on.
When I could tell y'all niggas y'all ain't shit, and y'all actually the fucking problem, nigga. We on this red pill shit, nigga. Fuck these bitches. Fuck these women. Fuck any trying to give any bitch grace, nigga. They on some shit. They on some fuck shit, nigga. We hate them all.
It's a brick house, and we built it, and we live in it.
Nigga. Hell, I wish I was there. I would have hit that bitch with the brick, nigga. Nah.
See, that's the thing, man. Niggas was saying shit like that.
Nah, bro. So
we not violent, but I wish I was holding a brick.
I know, right?
Hold on, man. What's going on? Yeah.
If there was a brick within a 1 yard radius of me, goddamn. So I do have some thoughts on this. It just kind of goes back to just my overall thought in general when it comes to like a lot of these accusations. You should reserve the right, and we talked about this before, me, you, and FD, and also Alvin in separate parts of conversations. You should have the ability to reserve the right to hold back your judgment and certain criticisms. You know what I mean?
I think that's fair. Yeah,
because
you can say, "Hey, I'm not commenting yet." That's totally fair.
Or I'm not sure about it, or just be kind of like in the middle. Like, yeah, I don't know, because like even the whole brick lady shit didn't sit right with me. Like, I didn't believe all of it. Of course, especially with the way the conversation was being had, how we were having it at the time. I didn't want to come out like I don't really believe her.
Because I think even at the time I had some little micro doubts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it was just kind of like, you should still be able to like, okay, I really want to wait and see like what the evidence is while giving the space for the alleged victim to have that space. Because you don't have to come down like, bitch, I think you lying. You ain't shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just another instance of another woman. Because like, as Alvin would say, by and large, a lot of women don't lie about this type of thing. But at the same time, I'm of the degree of, I don't believe all of fucking nothing.
And I think that's totally fucking reasonable. But I think my issue is like, it's like, because this is basically a Jussie Smollett situation. And I feel like these conversations devolve into like, see, black people are lying about racism. And it's like, bro, okay, if this particular story happens to be bullshit, I'm not apologizing for a motherfucking thing. Women do get assaulted like a motherfucker for rejecting people. That's why she's chose that particular story, because it's some shit that actually happens. Are there scammers? Of course. It's going to be some scam, but like to act like that's the main shit that happens. Yeah, come on. Like, so I think it's like, I'm fine with, trust but verify, but like even the believe all evidence thing to me is very much like, y'all niggas don't really give a, like, to me, it feels very much like y'all really don't give a fuck. Like, what you're saying is that the burden of proof, like, because it's combined with the innocent until proven guilty shit, which is, and I'm not saying that I disagree with that as a concept, but it feels like y'all are like, look, first and foremost, bitches be lying. Therefore, we'll believe all evidence until you prove to us otherwise. And so it seems like y'all are not
all evidence to the contrary. We'll believe all evidence you said bitches be lying, thus we'll believe all evidence until
we'll believe that you actually were assaulted, actually were raped, actually were hurt once you overwhelmingly prove to us that it's, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, they don't want innocent until proven guilty. What they want is this bitch is lying until proven otherwise. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are approaching this conversation with. So when they say, I'm not going to believe all women, I believe all evidence, it's like, what exactly is your threshold there? Because I think what really you probably makes sense to me is something like believe but verify. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool, we're listening and lightweight, we believe, like, cool. But before we go to criminal proceedings, before we put somebody in jail, we still need to gather evidence to confirm. Believe but confirm. Like, I feel like because when we act like it's just as likely that she's lying as that she's been assaulted, it's like that's not true. Yes, lies, like, I'll argue this, like, more than Alvin will argue for sure. Like, lies happen and we need to have like a protocol for dealing with that, but it ain't 50-50.
Yeah, no.
Like,
no, my specific issue with like situations like this is, for one, women who do lie and rightfully and get caught, and as they should and are held accountable, like, make it really difficult for other victims of assault, abuse, whatever else that may come after that. But the big thing that I have an issue with is I've seen a lot of examples of when women have lied about being sexually assaulted by like a guy, and nothing happened to him, but that man's life was ruined, and like he still got that stigma on him. Like, it's still like that dude's life is not the same. Like, the trajectory of his life got changed.
It's all
because of somebody 100%. Else, and there's nothing that happens to the perpetrator of said lie. I think that's an issue. And that's why I'll give like those guys credit, because I think they're just really pissed off about shit like that. But not, the olive branch, I'll say, is being pissed off about shit like that, which is a rightful and justifiable reason to be upset. because it's like, nah, bro, like just because you a woman, like if you were on my life, I didn't do anything wrong to you. And if it was you, me, anybody you personally knew, anybody you personally loved, you would not want to stand for that shit. If somebody fucked over your brother, and they just got away scot free. Oh, just because oh, she's a woman. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is where I'm kind of divided, because I'm like, the idea of okay. Because I just tie it back to like the race shit, because I feel like that's the easiest place for everybody listening. Like if black women and black men can kind of both understand where the shit is coming from. Like the Jussie Smollett situation. You look at a dude who scammed based off racial whatever. A lot of people looked at that and were like, this shit ain't real. But if people said, see, shit like this is why we can't take racism seriously, you'd be like, no, it's not shit like this.
Yeah, right.
Racists are why we can't take racism seriously.
Right.
And I feel like people are looking for an excuse. Like, yeah, one crazy ass scammer decides to tell a lie. So now this huge problem that we know is factually the case, they're what's causing people not to believe? No, the fuck they aren't. You didn't believe in the first place, and you were looking for a confirmation of that. So I feel like when I see that rhetoric of like, see, these lies are what really makes it difficult for no, the fuck it is not. Like, I don't think that's the cause at all. Or like or it's a very, very small contributor to like the issue of victims not being believed. Yeah. Now on the punishment tip, I feel it, and I want there have been people of all races, but black men have been specifically, targeted and injured by this shit, because you've got a prison, like a so-called justice system that can easily be weaponized to enact violence on black men who have been accused of something. So I understand the anger of being like, nah, you've done a vile crime. Something has to be done about that. I guess where I fall is just like, where's the net benefit? And I think that the net benefit falls such that if you start punishing every woman who comes forward about sexual assault, who ends up not being able to prove it satisfactorily, and you start looking to carry out criminal justice against all of those women, I don't think that will have. I think that's worse. I think that'll be a worse scenario for us to be in.
There would definitely be there would be a net negative in terms of, I guess, the willingness and comfortability for genuine victims of assault to come forward, because it's already an extremely embarrassing process that they have to go through to be able to prove that they were assaulted. In a sense, because you got it's like niggas, like men in the police, we got to do a test.
Yeah.
Let me get up in there, goddamn.
They got to get that little shoehorn shit in. It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm saying is, because we're going based off of speculation, like from the example that you just gave was like more so like speculation, like where you can't necessarily prove it one way or the other. Yeah. But in those instances where it's clear she was lying, it's clear.
I feel like that's
he
quite
was lucky enough that there was a camera there. That there was like witnesses that came up. It's clear she was not telling the truth. Like,
well, who we talking about? Or that's just a, so to speak.
So there was one instance I'm thinking about it was a college student. It was a white guy. He was at a bar, and the surveillance cameras could see him like at the bar interacting with this girl, and she was drunk, and she was the aggressor. She was flirting with him. She was trying to get him, and he was like, no, being respectful and everything. And then like the next day she came back and said that he raped her, which wasn't the case.
They had no sexual contact at all.
They had it wasn't like it was crazy, because like you don't even know what the hell happened like after she left the bar. Yeah. But just going based on her point, just based on her accusation, it was just like he was just automatically guilty. He got kicked out of school from an accusation. Yeah. But when the video came back, it's like, no, like this is
clear as day. So I think you need to, at the very least, have like a pathway for restoration. At the least, I don't know if punishment is necessary, but I think a pathway for restoration. I'm comfortable with that. Punishment, I don't know if it'd be worth the cost. Because most shit ain't clear as crystal as what you're saying. Most shit ends up like the Jonathan Majors, Tory Lane shit, where it's still motherfucker saying in both directions.
That's fair. But I goddamn it, like if somebody get caught in the act of doing some fuck shit, like they deserved and should be held accountable. Like I cannot come off of that, like, because again, if it was somebody that, if it happened to me, if it
I
happened
agree
to
with
you,
the deserve. No, I agree with the deserve, but we're not talking about just deserve. We're talking about the impact
overall
of a
impact.
policy.
I get that.
Like with the deserve, if there was a machine button where we could go, this person tried to Emmett Till somebody, cool, put him in jail. Now I have no problem with that. If there was a button that could tell us with 100% certainty, you know what I'm saying? God button, omniscience tells us 100% certainty this person fabricated something in order to enact state-sanctioned violence against someone to get them imprisoned because he rejected her or whatever. Cool, prison. But we don't have that type of magic. So in our world, it's going to be evidence, he say, she say, this way and that way. The benefit of that is not like, I don't know. It just, it feels like we're focusing on the smaller problem instead of the bigger problem. But I do think that even smaller problems are still problems, and we need a method of being able to like restore. So it's like someone's proven innocent. Like we need to have a way for them to not like to get their life back on track and be all cool and all that kind of shit. I think that's, I'd be game to put weight behind that as a concept.
What's up?
I was just going to transition into like, do we want to talk about the fuck shit of this situation specifically?
A brick lady?
A brick lady.
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay, so that video, like, it just seemed like really weird and oddly specific to black men. And like, all these black men out here didn't do, and like, even like hearing that
it was
damn
definitely a
recording back
narrative.
is just so heart-wrenching to even hear. I don't like listening to it because I just hate to hear, even if she wasn't, probably was not being truthful in that sense, in that situation. It's just still hard to hear a woman in that
state
in that
of
situation.
Of harm, yeah.
Like it's really hard to hear that. But it's just something just about it didn't like quite sit right. But it just seemed very oddly specific and targeted towards black men.
It was. It 100% was. It was very narrativized. It's very much here's a story. Here's a thing that we need to talk about. Yeah, because it wasn't in the hospital. It was like injury has happened here. Let's make commentary about what has literally just happened to me. But I also think like she did get busted upside the head with like a blunt object. Like that did happen, and I feel like people are
like she might have got like.
From what I can tell, it looked like a water bottle, but it was probably a clear glass bottle because her head was fucked up. That wasn't fake.
No, that wasn't fake, but it was like when I read the report or like the thing like when they was accusing like, hey, this didn't happen because like the thing is like she was lying. Like if she actually got hit upside the head with a glass bottle, there's clear assault there. They're saying that that's not the case. She had a mark on her face which might have come from like a much lesser object, which is still wrong if she was hit. But the thing is, they was like, no, this ain't adding up because they were saying like the perpetrator who allegedly hit her had no contact with her. Like he got out the car, got into another car, and left.
Wait, but where are we saying that the big massive fucking welt on her head that was something else?
I have no idea, but the thing is like
that's not what I was getting from the article. I was getting from the article that like she went to the hospital. It was that same night. She lied about all the circumstances of it and created a story that didn't happen. But she was injured by a man who hit her.
But if you were injured by a man, why on earth would you need to lie about it and then exacerbate it if you was legit injured by said dude? Like you wouldn't need to lie about it if it happened. If you got this shit on you, like you wouldn't.
Hey, what did Cat Williams say? Nobody knows why liars lie. No, I think it's a combination of clout and things like that. But I also like there's a particular kind of person who kind of like lies to create, spectacle. You know what I'm saying? So like we got to spice this up. We got to say, oh my God, this guy, he came up to me. Like, I don't know if you've met people like that, but they just will like go to 10 with like some shit in terms of just creating a story.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I was late for the train and like this dude died. And like, and it's a different kind of level of bullshit. And that's what it a little bit kind of maybe feels like this was, which is that I did get hit, but I need to turn this into a story of like some man in an alley turned me and and like, cool, I can't believe all this happened kind of shit. And that makes it a lot easier to do the GoFundMe shit. But to be fair, because Conscious Lee, he did a video on this and he kind of made a point, which was that like she was dishonest about the specific circumstances. As far as we can tell, that seems to be what the evidence is bearing out. But the GoFundMe was money for her psychological and physical rehabilitation. All of that was true. Like she did get hit and was injured and was hospitalized for it. Now, the Houston police say that it was considered like mutual combat. That she wasn't assaulted so much as she was in a fight.
Yeah, like she was, because they specifically said that from the evidence, the video, like she was the aggressor.
Yeah,
He said that straight out of his
came.
mouth.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they came to that conclusion. Look, if that was the case and he was just defending himself, then that's a different conversation. But I'm is that what?
That's what I mean.
Once
again, because it needs to be stated that these are charges that have been brought to her. Like she hasn't been found guilty of it, but like she's being charged.
These is all alleged. We haven't seen the video. Like
yeah.
It's
So
just what the
like,
police are saying.
We're discussing the charges that have been brought to her. Like not saying that this has all been verified by the court of law, but like these are the charges that, based on the evidence that the prosecution has. The sheriff or lieutenant, whatever you call that nigga, but he said that. Based on the video, the evidence that he saw, like I said, she was the aggressor. Like it was point blank period. Like he also did state that it wasn't a brick. It was he said a water bottle. He did not say a glass bottle. And that's it.
The only reason I'm saying glass is just because a plastic water bottle is not fucking her head up like that. I don't think.
I think there's some vital information that we're missing.
Yeah.
Both of you and I are missing.
Sure.
About like how that happened. But once again, also give space to to the alleged victim. I don't know. But just based on what I heard, he said it was like a water bottle. And that was a mark. Because there was like a mark that was on her face. Not just this whole swelling at first.
But the mark.
Yeah. Because when you in a fight, your face just don't immediately swell the fuck up like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been, who knows? But anyway.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it don't take but about, 30, 70 seconds for your shit to swell up crazy. Like, I'm just basing that off, like, UFC fights and shit like that. Like a person will get punched and next round their head is like if you break, blood vessels underneath the skin. Yeah. So that seems in line. Like the video evidence shows that altercation happened that same night. So whatever happened to her face, that swelling was caused that same night. That's what we have, right? Like there's no other way it could have happened.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and I mean this is all like alleged too, because like I was saying like some other shit it could have been. It was like an allergic reaction, but again, I don't want to put that out there.
Yeah, because that seemed like the conspiracy theory bullshit. Because it's like her face wasn't swollen in the video. She gets hit that same night. She's on Instagram, telling a tale about how it happened with a big ass welt on her face. Then goes to the hospital where they say this is blunt force trauma. Where is the silicone allergic reaction shit? Like that don't make sense.
Something isn't right about this. That's
well,
all
we
I
already
can
know
say.
several things that are. We already know several things that are not right.
Because to take a page from Alvin's book, I don't feel comfortable like going in detail about something that I don't know all the facts about. You know what I'm saying? And like what exactly happened, or like I haven't like read through all the evidence and combed through all the.
Okay. Your honor per se habeas corpus.
You know what I mean?
Hitherto, I plead the fifth.
This is not beneficial for the overall culture, my brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But my whole thing is still though, this isn't her first rodeo with this sort of situation popping off, because it was like back five couple years ago.
Similar situation.
Similar situation. She claimed that she was assaulted, started a GoFundMe, made a big ruckus about it, and got away clean.
Because we knew about that when the brick shit came out, and I was like, yes, people get beat up more than once. That happens. Like that's a real real life situation.
But man, I gotta ask though, like bro, like, and once again, this ain't like I'm got there caping for people to get beat up, but it's like, yo, how much shit are you starting to? Like, what type of decisions are you, or what type of decisions in your life is leading you to so much conflict and confrontation?
Here's my thing. I think that if you were a certain type of person, you can get your ass beat unjustifiably multiple times. Does that make sense?
If you're a certain type of person, you can get your ass beat unjustifiably more than one time.
Yes. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I think so, yeah. That's just a hilarious premise, but yeah.
Because basically,
what type of person are we talking about?
Because I think we're doing it. Okay, here's let me put it more like
that ass was unjustifiable. I could have seen a quick slam to the ground, but nah.
What it is I think that there is a true phenomenon where if you are considered to be a loud, unruly, not submissive, whatever woman, that there are many people, men specifically, who will take issue with that. And to the extent that you continue to exist as that, they will continue to take issue with it. So for instance, if you're, or another example, if you're like queer and on the femme side, you will be the victim of violence a lot. And to the extent that you're not like, oh, sorry, no, everything's fine. The more you're like, yo, no, why are you looking at me? Why are you saying slurs at me? Why are you da 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 da? Why is this an issue? What's up? People may enact violence on you. None of that justifies any of the violence, but it may happen to you more than once because you're at a situation where that kind of oppression is coming to you frequently. So, like, for instance, a given person might get stopped by the police and roughed up by the police more than once. And are we going to have the conversation of, well, what did he do? What type of person he da da da? Well, yeah.
Are you talking about shit talkers?
Yes, yeah. I mean, that kind of. I'm including that, but yes, shit talker is one example of what I'm talking about. But like shit talker kind of implies the wrong thing, because shit talker implies that you're preemptively starting shit, and I think that there's a difference between shit talking and not taking shit. And I feel like being like a not taking shit person, if you're in an oppressed category, can invite a lot of violence towards you. If you're a loud, proud gay man, it might be some violence that comes to you off of that. It doesn't justify the violence. You know what I mean?
I understand that, and I'm not discounting that whatsoever. Because I have seen situations where, somebody stood up for themselves by not saying, it's like, hey, you did X, Y, and Z. Like, yo, what's up? Like, what was up with that? You know what I mean? And because like, most people ain't really just trying. Most people is not really just with just the bullshit, fuck shit, just trying to get into a fight, just off rip. Like, most people not on that type of time. Now, in the grand scheme of the overall population, even though most people aren't, you gonna catch some people that's on the right type of time that is with that ignorant shit, and well, goddamn it, just went outside looking for a motherfucker to fight.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I have also seen more often than not a situation that didn't have to happen because somebody who couldn't fight and couldn't defend themselves with all the shit that they was talking just didn't let it go or like walk away. Or after they like stood up for themselves, they took it a step further. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, y'all,
what you want to do? Yeah,
both man and women. And it's like, bro, like, get the fuck. And like the nigga, he's like, yo, get the fuck up out of here before something happens to you. I've gave you several warnings. Leave. Yeah. And after several warnings, shit went left for said shit talker.
I would just say I agree that happens. 2 instances of getting your ass beat in a certain situation to me is not like, that's not making me go immediately, because you know what I was gonna say. MLK got his ass beat several times.
Who?
But like Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? Coretta Scott King's husband. You know?
I thought you said something totally NOK. I was like, who the fuck is NOK?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I thought you were talking about like a present day rapper.
Double XL for 2024, yeah. But like you think about, I know there's a lofty fucking example, but whatever. I don't mean a Jonathan Majors situation, but like somebody like Martin Luther King is getting thrown in jail, getting his ass beat, multiple times. If you go, damn, this nigga MLK always getting his ass beat. What did he do to make them niggas that mad? You'd be like, no, it's because you're an individual who is boisterously bucking against a system of other people's behavior. And I feel like 2 examples of a woman getting her ass beat, that to me is not making me immediately go to, oh, she must be a shit stirrer. That's not the first thing that comes to my mind. It could be that, and shit, the evidence of this shit being a scam situation, it could definitely be that now.
I mean, look, women suffer multiple instances of domestic abuse and domestic violence from more than one partner. But from, I guess, maybe speaking from a place of hyperbole, like, this isn't necessarily that situation.
No, I know.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but, it's like you out and about. And just with
all
random...
I'm saying is, here's why when I heard about the initial she did this 6 months ago thing, I was like, so? Like, that don't mean nothing by itself.
It does. It warrants kind of like a, okay, let me look a little
maybe
bit more
with other
like,
evidence, which we now have.
Yeah, and because again, it's like, and I get it under this, because I'm with you on, hey, what does this do for an entire population of people who are abused? Men, women, especially women, because it happens a lot to them. It goes unreported, goes unjustified. Their perpetrators are not in jail. Nothing ever happens to them. They get in other relationships and they beat a new person. That's fucked up. Damn, I might have just shut myself up with that one. I don't even remember my train of thought before I said that.
And therefore, I rest my case.
I know, right? Therefore, I rest my fucking case. But damn, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's just 'cause I don't, and I'll be honest, like I don't care for the saying of believe all women on a literal point, just from like a literal stance, because like I've seen so many situations in my life, in my own real life, through my own experience, where I know this person is lying. It shit has happened to me. It's happened to friends. It's just happened like, bro, I've seen so many instances where like, yo, this person is lying. Both men and women know what type of person she is.
Yeah.
And that's not to take away from, because I also see like fucked up shit happen to other women, so it doesn't take away from neither party. But it's like, yo, you have to be careful from where you're getting your information from and use discernment in your judgment. I don't think a lot of people actually try to go through the care of using discernment and just jump to one conclusion, good or bad in that situation. That's what I'm saying. So it's just like one of those instances where just because an accusation was brought up, because again, I do want to give like, that victim space, because hell, more than likely it could be true. But like if the story just don't add up, it's like people do reserve the right to be like, hey, like something's kind of weird here. You know what I mean? Like something ain't quite adding up.
You can investigate. You can investigate, verify. I think all of that is reasonable. And people who say that that's not, I do disagree. But I don't even feel like people. I mean, let me not gaslight. But I feel like I don't see a bunch of people being like, believe every woman all the time in every situation. I know it does, but I'm like, I feel like sometimes that's an exaggeration. We can have some common sense investigation before you put a motherfucker in prison. You need to see the evidence. Like, cool. What happened? Does this add up to this? Does this make sense? Is this actually? Do we have a clear chain of events? Yeah. In any situation, you should investigate. You can believe and investigate in every single situation, of course. So. I don't have major reservations with that, other than emphasizing what thing is the primary issue, which a lot of these conversations devolve into very quickly.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I mean,
she's a scammer, it looks like, and you know what I'm saying? Let's keep it moving. People do still get assaulted. I'm not finna apologize for a goddamn thing because I don't have nothing to apologize for.
Yeah, we ain't got shit to apologize about. We handled that conversation with very tactfully and with respect. Shout out to the good brother, Professor Odie.
Yes, sir. Shout out. All right. We want to talk about old girl with the wedding situation.
Yes. Oh man, I was on the fence about how I viewed this shit a little bit, like right when I saw it.
I'm curious because I saw you scoffing when you were watching the shit.
Yeah, because when I just thought about it more, like I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, I'm curious because you already know what type of time I'm gonna be on, so you should go first. Let me see. Hold on.
Oh man, see now you gonna make me look bad.
Nah.
My dad just decided he's not going to pay for my wedding anymore. What I'm finding out is if you let your parent pay for your wedding, you kind of have to do it their way. Finally told my parents, I'm going to do this my way, and they backed out of paying for it. So let me tell you what happened. I have to give credit where credit is due. My parents raised me to be an independent thinker. And as an independent thinker, I've decided we're not going to do every single wedding tradition at my wedding. And that's where the fight comes in with my dad. It's the year 2023. Women are not property anymore, which is why I decided I would be walking myself down the aisle. My parents do not own me, and I'm not some property to be given away. My dad was not very happy to find out he wouldn't be walking me down the aisle. In his eyes, I'm taking away one of the most important parts of the day. Apparently, a first dance with my father isn't enough. My dad keeps going back to the point of, we've never treated you as property, why would you say that? He's also trying to say I'm discrediting everything him and my mom have done for me, which to me just feels unrelated. Like, I'm just not a fan of that tradition. I feel like he's been talking to his buddies because the other day he came back to me and said, well, if you want to be independent, then you can pay for it yourself. Which to me still feels like if you're not going to do your wedding the way I want, then I'm not going to pay for it. And that just doesn't feel right to me. So anyways, do we agree that my dad's being a complete jerk right now? Really hoping he comes around because there's no way I can afford this wedding if he doesn't help me with it. So I'm just kind of holding out hope that he'll come through.
All right. First of all, before you go off,
I'm not going to go off.
No. But before you present your case, the video is fake. Obviously, it's a Reddit post that somebody is like just redoing as their own situation while she does like her makeup or whatever. But I feel like at this point, this is just a new form of performance art. Like this is just a new form of content creation. Like, it's just, what do y'all think about this scenario? But she's just doing it like through the form of like narrative TikTok creation. But yeah, this is not her story. She just. I mean, yeah, because I've seen her do like 4 or 5 different of these ones of totally different scenarios. And it's like, bitch, nobody's that busy that all this different shit is happening to you. Like,
nobody's, you ain't Forrest Gump, motherfucker. Like, fuck?
Come on, you don't got this type of story. Yeah, come on. So I just got a job as like an astronaut. Like, come on, you was doing a wedding yesterday. How you already astronaut? You look.
Doing a makeup, yo.
You don't even look 40. Come on. So. Yeah.
Nah, so my personal thing is I can already hear like, oh my God, you really should have some women on here to discuss these particular sorts of topics.
We are experts in all things. Every gender, every sexual orientation, every race, every type of science. We experts. We already know what it is.
We speak for everybody. Oh
yeah, we mansplain
from a place of love. But now
from a place of love. Yeah.
I mean, just as a guy, and hearing that from the way that her parents brought her up was like, of course, like, be a free thinker. You know what I'm saying? We raised Kanye West about this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Who knows how this might bite us in the ass later on down the line. But in terms of, I guess, like the wedding tradition, like I'm all for like, hey, doing things the way you want to do. But it's not just about you. And then like the way that your parents brought you up, it's not even like, they're looking at you as property. It's just a thing that your dad was really looking forward to doing. And that's like, any dad who has a daughter and like wants his daughter to find like a good mate, somebody that's gonna love him, like, you envision this day of the wedding. I'm paying for the wedding. Don't worry about it. I want to see my baby girl happy. I want this to be the best day of her life. And like my biggest pride in enjoying this is I'm gonna get the chance to walk my baby girl down the aisle. And she took that away from him on some, I'm not your motherfucking property. I ain't no property.
Nigga, like, I'm a whole human.
I'm a whole human motherfucker. Like, because I can understand the sentiment, but like I don't think from hearing this story, especially with the context of, hey, my parents are very loving. They raised me to be a free thinker. They raised me to think for myself. Fantastic. But from hearing that, your parents are not trying to control you. Your parents are not looking at you as property. This is just something that I really was looking forward to as a dad. And like you had to be like taking that away from me, man. I don't know what the fuck you looking for, like, you don't give a fuck about that.
No, I'm pretty much unambiguously 1,000,000,000,000% on her side in this story, because you just said they not treating her like property and they not trying to control her. The nigga said, if you don't do what I want in this exact one element of your wedding, I'm defunding the whole fucking thing. That's the most controlling you my property type shit I've ever heard. Like, now look, let me start with my concession before I go off into why I think he's completely fucking tripping, and she's 100% right.
He's abusive. He's the worst fucking father this bitch could ever ask for. I got you. Let's go.
Kill him. Put him in prison.
Kill him.
Shoot his ass in the head.
Kill him. Let the demons have him.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
Let God sort it out. Yeah.
Let God deal with it.
No, because, okay. Now, I agree that him wanting to have some participation in his child's wedding is totally fucking reasonable. What that looks like is not his singular decision. Yeah. Now, if you want to say, hey, look, let's renegotiate what this looks like. She obviously already said, I'll do the first dance with you. She ain't have to do that shit. Now, they could do there's other things because it doesn't seem like it's come to a conversation of compromise. She said, hey, I don't want to do this. He said, hey, I do want to do this. And they haven't come to any kind of, and he said, the dance isn't enough. I need the aisle shit too. I'm like, have the mom walk her down the aisle. Have both the parents walk her down the aisle.
She was going to walk down the aisle to Whitney Houston's I'm Every Woman by her damn self.
Yeah.
That's the
I mean, but the conversation hasn't happened yet. So this is my concession, is that I do think maybe some compromise to where he can feel like he's a participant in the wedding is fair. But several issues. First of all, we don't walk grooms down the fucking aisle. All right. The groom stands there and the wife is presented by the fucking father. Now, you can tell me all goddamn day, well, we never treated you as property. Cool. Then why are you doing it today? You've just said to me, you've never treated me as property. You've taught me to be an independent thinker. And now that I'm saying, hey, this thing feels like property because historically and actually that's what the fuck it is. And me as an independent thinker, I'm not trying to do that shit. You go, oh, this bitch done lost her mind. She's so open-minded, her brain done falling out. It's like, what happened to all that good shit about, I'm not property and I should be a free thinker? So I think as a father, I'm going, okay, cool. Maybe it's not my decision to decide what looks like somebody being treated like property when I'm the owner in the scenario. Maybe it's not a white person's job to tell a black person what is and isn't racism. Maybe it's not the father's job to tell the bride what does or does not feel like property. Like, so if my daughter says, hey, yo, this thing is rooted in this, I'll show you the Wikipedia articles. Here's what it is, because you're not walking your son down the fucking aisle. His dad ain't walking him down. He's waiting there for you to deliver me to him. It's not my mom, it's you. So let's be clear about what's going on. And it feels some type of way to me. Okay, cool, honey. I want to have some participation in this wedding. What can I do? That seems like a fair conversation to have. But the first thing I'm doing is not, we're not doing it traditional. Bitch, fuck the whole wedding then. I'm not giving you no goddamn money. What are we talking about?
I have seen the mom walk her son down the aisle too.
Okay, that's cool.
Actual weddings.
But that's not the tradition.
It happens more often than you think, but
it's not the tradition. It's a subversion of a tradition.
Fine,
the tradition is the bride is walked down by the groom. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see
cool,
what I'm saying?
Cool.
My point.
I see what you're
saying,
baby. I see what you're saying. We don't have to get into that.
Yeah, sure.
But, and I mean, hey, under all moral conditions, you're correct. You're correct under all.
I love when you started this way.
under the moral guise of everything you said, you're 1,000% correct.
Okay.
The dad should shut the fuck up because his daughter is her own fucking human being. She has the right and total autonomy over her special day, over her body. I'm just coming from the frame of just being on some like not random, but just on some regular people, like just everyday common people, because I seriously don't think that a lot of people think about the actual meaning of the traditions that they take a part of.
I agree.
For every nigga, I celebrated fucking Easter without knowing what the fuck I'm celebrating for a long ass time. Man. You know what I'm saying?
I do Christmas every year. I'm atheist.
Christmas, like, what the fuck?
I'm with you.
It's Santa Claus, baby. No, it's actually a pagan holiday where they got. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's Krampus. Oh, shit. All right.
I'll see y'all next year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's about Santa Claus, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like,
I feel you.
But so in that vein, because like people not looking at it that damn deep and thinking about it that damn deep. So when I'm just coming back to say that, hey, look, man, I really think that the dad really wanted to have this experience and walk his baby girl down the aisle, even if it's rooted in patriarchy or what the fuck ever. It's still a beautiful moment. And there's plenty of women who got married and their father was not there to walk them down the aisle, and that ruined it, and that really fucked them up, that their dad was not there to walk them down the aisle and have that moment with them. Now, if she didn't want to do that, cool, fantastic. I'm just saying, speaking from the point of where her dad might be coming from and giving this nigga a little bit of grace, which you are not doing whatsoever. So please allow me to talk to it. So I'm just saying that, hey, he probably was talking to his friends and they was on some super petty ass shit. Was like, okay, well, if you really want to be a free thinker like that, well, hell, you just pay for the wedding then. And my feelings are so fucking hurt. I'm being childish. I'm being petty as fuck. So you just pay for the wedding. But I did think that was kind of funny, which is like, I really just hope he just comes over because he's being a jerk, you know. But I mean, I did just like fuck him and discount his feelings. And then, it's fully expect for him to do X, Y, and Z for me. So it's like on some just, but hey, I just still feel like this is a little bit of give and take. But once again, ultimately, it's your day. You do have the right to decide what the fuck ever you want to do. And I do believe her dad is being mad petty. But I also understand like where he's coming from and also like the possible hurt that he's experiencing by not being able to do this thing with his daughter and for his daughter that he might have been looking forward to ever since she could have been born or might have been born.
See, that was the first concession I made, though, which is that I don't think that he's unjustified in wanting to have XYZ participation in the fucking wedding. But to go straight to financial coercion in order to try and get obedience, problem. Because why the fuck were you paying it in the first place? Because this is, fuck, damn, I disagree with so many fucking things. Let me see if I can get to them. So with the money thing, it's like
everything you said is balderdash.
Yeah, balderdash, poppycock, my nigga.
I could never believe that a father would actually want to walk his daughter down the aisle, and that might hurt his feelings.
I do believe that that's the core to the goddamn issue, because when people get their feelings hurt, that's when they do fuck shit. And you have to stop yourself and go, okay, cool. My feelings are hurt. What is and is not reasonable in this situation? He got every right to have his feelings hurt. He has every right to want to have participation in his child's wedding, 100%. But he got to understand that, the mom, like what about the mom? What's her participation? That's just as much her baby as his. So why is this particular thing his to do?
I'm sure
why
the mom
so
has regular
important?
participation.
Wait, what you mean?
I'm pretty sure the mom has regular participation. She never brought up her mom.
But that's what I'm saying is, why does the dad need to get a special type of participation? Like, why is he looking at like, oh, I'm owed this one, but the mom is not getting that? And I'm not saying that he shouldn't get that, but I'm saying, wouldn't you just take a second to be like, okay, wait, why is the dad walking the bride down to the groom, and I'm acting like, what am I saying crazy? What am I saying crazy?
Okay, so
he getting mad about not getting special treatment. Essentially,
it's not, bro. If it's my nigga, okay, so. That is the tradition. That's not that is the
traditions
tradition.
Are special treatment all the time. What you just said? Those two things are not opposites. Like those two things are the same.
But you're acting like the mom. You're acting like the mom is the one that's always in that role.
I'm saying she's not, and that's the point. What the daughter is saying is in opposition and subversion to tradition. Hey, let's examine this tradition. And the dad is going, but I want to do it because I'm supposed to, because I get to. And it's like, but nigga, why you? And why her? And why not the mom? And why not the son? Well, I don't know, because it's tradition and I want to. I want to have it because I was told I would get it because I'm a man. Because I'm the father.
I never heard you be like, why the fuck we got a Christmas tree during Christmas, motherfucker?
Because who's mad about Christmas trees?
Trees.
If a tree told me, hey, look, I'm an independent woman, all right, I have autonomy, and I don't want to be cut down, I'd be like, all right, bitch, fine, cool, all right, I'll leave you up. Cool.
It's like, I mean,
because who's mad at Christmas trees? We picking false equivalencies.
I'm not even trying to come at you like I don't understand what you're, but it's just, but for the sake of that argument and then the strength that you're coming at it from, it's like I can't wrap my mind around like why, like, because even when I can't wrap my mind around like how are you saying that he has no. Because it sounds like you're saying, why are you, motherfucker? Why are you getting mad? Why not the mama? Why not such and such? It's like, bro, like.
I'm not saying you can't get mad. I'm saying, can't you understand that, like, maybe you're not as entitled to this thing as you think. And maybe this thing that you're experiencing as hurt is actually you just being treated like everybody else. Because basically what she's saying is, hey, Dad, I'd like you to have the same participation in this wedding as the woman who birthed me. And he's going, man, what the fuck? Like. You can be mad, but can't you see like you're actually just being treated equally?
Look, I bet. Okay, so look, man, shit, boy, if I was good at talking to you, I swear to God, Nick, because she said absolutely nothing about excluding her mom from any tradition that's a part of a wedding whatsoever. And the mom,
you hear what I'm saying, bro? Okay, what is the mom doing?
I don't think you hear what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, maybe not.
Because once again, like, bro, I get it. I agree with you, but it's like also a thing of, I feel like you discounting a lot of just kind of the viewpoint of where they coming from. It's like they older too, like they set in their ways. Like this is how. Like if you looking at a tradition, like hey, this is how it's been done. And then it's like why not the mom?
Anything?
Like the mom isn't tripping. The mom ain't because like bro, we don't know about the mom. The mom sounds like the mom was never even mentioned in any of this, and the mom plays a lot of. Has a lot of factors and plays a lot of role, and also often overtime steps at boundaries in terms of what planning the wedding, setting up the wedding, all this shit. But
100%.
They never said anything about the mom nor excluding the mom from any traditional aspect of the wedding. So like you drawing like once again like you drawing like a false equivalent of what the fuck ever, like I was with the Christmas tree.
No, I'm saying, look, if he's saying, because this is the first fucking thing I said, which is like, look. He has the right to want participation. Does he have the right to have a particular one? Or is it all right for him to be treated equally? Now, if he said, okay, cool, I don't get to walk you down the aisle. I want to help you pick out the dress. I want to help pick out the bouquet. I want to have the first dance. What can we do to increase my participation equally and comparably to your mom? That's a fair conversation. No, but equal to fucking whatever. The only reason I'm saying equal to the mom is because I brought up the conversation of you're essentially mad that you're being treated equally. And you said, well, mothers get XYZ thing. And I'm like, cool, give him that too.
I don't even think that's part of that's an argument that you're making, but I don't even think that's a part of this situation. Like equal treatment between both parents. Like that's not what the fuck this is about.
I'm saying how can you justifiably think you're being wrong for being treated the same as somebody else?
And that's what I'm getting hung up on.
Yeah.
Because the mom plays their role in the wedding. But what I'm saying is her role is not being diminished in a traditional wedding. Like, no, never said anything about that. So I don't even understand why we're talking about the dad's participation versus the mom's participation. The mom's participation was never even mentioned. So I have to believe that her level of participation was never affected in the wedding. The dad's, one of the biggest parts of the wedding is when the bride is walked down the aisle with the groom.
And
then we're trying to make this shit problematic.
We're not trying to make it problematic. The person
is
who
problematic.
Exactly. You're begging the question there. The person who is being treated as property in this ritual.
Walked down the aisle by her father. That's wrong.
I would say that's. I would look.
I don't understand what we trying to do here.
I don't want to get derailed onto that, but since you know what I'm saying, we keeping it spicy. Like, I think that it's possible for women to make choices that aren't the most progressive. Like, that's a fact. Women do that all the time. That people do that all the time. So that's not an argument of anything. Like, people do traditional shit that maybe is old or patriarchal or whatever the fuck. If a person decides they don't want to do that shit, that is their, right in this situation. So, okay. What I'm saying is, if the daughter said, "Hey, look," like, okay, let me try and rephrase it this way and maybe see if I can make the connection of why I keep bringing up the mom, since it's not quite like clicking. If the daughter said, "Hey, look, I would like to have a wedding where gender is removed and the gender-based roles of these are removed. We're not bride and groom. We're two partners entering into a loving, romantic relationship. And our parents are the people who raised us, who cared for us, who loved us, who allowed us to get to this point. And they're the people who are paying for the wedding because they want to support us in our next chapter of life as we move into, adulthood." Cool. Based on that, I want to remove some of the more gender-based traditions and instead elect for y'all to have parental-based involvements in the wedding. And so I want both of y'all to have exactly equal participation. I don't want to be walked down the aisle because I think that's rooted, and I am correct factually in that being rooted in some ownership, chattel property shit.
I agree with you. Yeah, that's non-disputable. I agree with you.
That's a fact. But dad, mom, I want y'all both to participate in picking the cake, both in the bouquet, both. I want to have a first dance with all three of us. How the fuck that shit will work. I want to have y'all both. Yeah, but whatever the fuck it is, you know what I'm saying? I want y'all to have equal participation in this wedding. If she would have said that, what's the issue? What does the dad have to? You can feel whatever you want to feel, but what wrong is being done to the father or anyone in that situation?
If I mean, the nigga probably ain't gonna even want to do all that goddamn shit, man. Y'all got the cakes, y'all got the, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to pick out the dress.
See, that's my issue. That's the issue.
I get what you're saying, but it's at the same time, it's like, bro, because once again, like, hey, like, because I don't even want to sit up here and like, oh, I'm super fucking conservative and da-da-da-da, but it's just like on this particular thing, I can wholeheartedly understand where the dad is coming from, but then you also are upholding like a traditional patriarchal value that the man has to pay for the wedding, and that's what that motherfucker was doing. But now it's like an issue of, and now it's like an issue of, okay, well, hell, if I can't participate in the wedding that I want to, then that's financial coercion, which, hey, it is. To like, and there's manipulation, which, hey, it is. I can agree with that. I can agree with that because that's not even like necessarily, not even necessarily like the point that I'm trying to make. Like, that's not wrong of him to do. The point I'm trying to make is I can understand and feel where he's coming from, and I've highlighted why I feel where he's coming from.
Have I ever said otherwise though?
Why. The way you talk,
have I said
it's
otherwise?
not even like, it's just like the way you talk though is like it comes across like fuck all that shit. It's like I give you the thing, I give you the breadcrumb at the beginning, but then like
I feel like to borrow, like, bro, I feel like I keep saying, here's what we can do. Here's a compromise. Here's another thing. Nah, look, and it seems like the argument being made is either give me exactly what the fuck I want, or we're doing nothing at all. And I don't understand how, if that's the argument, I'm being uncompromising. Like, I don't understand how me not giving like in 100% is somehow me being too harsh. I'm like, there's 11 different ways that we can compromise on this, and I've presented all of them. But anything less than no, bitch, I'm walking you down the fucking aisle, or we're not doing the wedding, it's childish. Yes, you can feel upset about it. Cool. So what can we do as an alternative? And I've given like 17 different fucking options, and they're all not good enough.
Pick the cake with the mom and the daughter too. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Or whatever. What else do you want? You want the dance, or dad can give an extra speech, or dad can, fuck man, he can stand with the fucking groomsmen as the first, or the fucking, he can stand in front of the fucking bridesmaids. Something. There's so many different things that can be done. And if you're saying, look, here's the one option that we know factually is a patriarchal fucking property thing. If we don't fucking do that, we're not funding the wedding. That just seems ridiculous to me and uncompromising. And if I'm the one going, what if we did this? And you go, no, fuck all that shit. How am I the one saying fuck all that shit? I said I don't want to do one thing.
Hey, once again, my brother.
Now, yeah. Well, the other thing I was going to say is about the wedding shit, like with the financial coercion shit, it's like, why were you paying it in the first place? Because I think there's this thing of like, oh, well, if you don't want a traditional wedding, then I'll traditionally not pay for it. It's like, okay, but you offered to pay for it because you were her parent. Not because she's your property or whatever. So for you to withdraw it back once you don't get to have part of the tradition, it's like, well, what was your motivation to begin with? And I think it's not so much. Now, look, I will say, if he came back and said, hey, we got to split the shit with the groom. If we not doing it traditional, I think we should. I'm happy to pay as the parent, but why am I paying for the whole shit if we're not going to do certain traditional elements? I think that's more of a reasonable argument.
Because I mean, like,
the other thing is,
yeah,
does the mom work? Because we acting like the dad is paying for this shit by himself. I doubt that that's the case. This is probably the mom's money too. So
maybe,
maybe. More likely than not, that people from that generation, both parents worked. They're probably like young boomers.
Hey man,
they both worked.
Hey man, our caucus, people got a different setup than we do in our black families. But yeah, I mean, hey,
maybe
I'm pretty sure the mom got there's the mom's money is in there too.
Money.
The mom's money is in there too. You know what I'm saying? But motherfucker was in that jacuzzi with him. But because I mean, I get that. I'm cool to make that compromise. Well, hey, if that's kind of fucked up, like I really, if this is happening, if you don't want to allow me the right, not even the right, allow me the privilege of walking you down the aisle as my daughter and what this symbolizes for me or whatever and the culture. Then shit, like, why am I paying for the whole wedding? Because if you want to not have a non-traditional wedding,
but
Tony,
yeah,
we going half and half on this bitch.
We
now,
going
right?
halfsies on this bitch, right? Yeah. No, look, I don't think that's entirely unfair, and I think that sometimes it's like when we have these arguments about tradition, it's the same thing we talked about with the Professor Odie shit, where it's like women will be like, hey, we don't want to participate in this like one element, and then men are like, wait, so you telling me you expect us to pay for dates, but you refuse to be our sexual slaves? This ain't traditional. And I feel like that's what's happening here. Is like, you can say, hey, look, I don't like elements of this tradition that factually are in line with oppression. I'd like to change some of them. And the other person going, no, it's a tradition. You either have to do all of the fuck shit that hurts you and benefits me, or we don't do it at all. That doesn't make sense to me. So if you say, hey, look, the part where parents support their adult children moving into the next section of life seems like, yeah, we can maintain that as a tradition without you treating me in some symbolic property, even if you don't feel like it and you've always treated me as an independent woman, blah, all of that stuff that you're saying, despite the fact that you're fighting fucking tooth and nail to do this, like, slavery mime with me. Okay, fine. Can we not keep parts of a tradition? Can I not criticize, or is it just throw the whole thing out? And I feel like that's the thing. It's this childish, like, oh, black people want the right to vote. We'll go back to Africa type of thinking. Like, no, we want to change elements of something.
Fair enough, my boy. I mean, because I really don't have like a legit argument against that, because I'm with you. I feel it. But I got a question, though. Okay. Because there's a lot of traditions and like things that we participate in, and then like you said, like last week's episode, when it comes to like certain like family traditions that's rooted in something fucked up, but like over time it's like the meaning of it changed, like it shifted into something different, even though the origin of where it came from is rooted in some fucked up shit. That don't mean that's what we doing today and what it means today. So if we're looking at it through that lens, are we just saying abolish weddings, completely change how weddings are? Or like certain things like walking your daughter down the aisle is just fucked up inherently and should not be done any longer, even though that's not really the point of today. It's like Like, because no, you're not property. Of course you're not property. I'm not trading you for a fucking cow and a mule. Like, that's not what we doing like anymore. Like, you are the breadwinner in the house. You make the most money. You're married. Like, I really don't want you to marry this nigga because he ain't financial, but I'll walk you down the. So it's like, so that's, I guess, where I'm kind of getting a little bit flustered and just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I guess
you know?
To answer the question, I would say, I think it's easy when we're like this close up on it to be like, damn, you really fucking up the tradition. But I think when you zoom out, little tiny micro moments like this is how culture is created. Like that's how, you know, the ham gets introduced into Thanksgiving dinner when it maybe wasn't there before because somebody tried some fuck shit and people were like, no, Susan, why are you always trying to do some new shit on Thanksgiving?
Goddamn,
this shit kind of hit.
Hey man, y'all mixed the ham with the mac and cheese. Y'all tried that shit?
That's what's up. Pineapples and cherries. Are these Machino? These are Mochachitos cherries.
Right. Well, you know,
so you might have to do that next year.
We'll see how the harvest is next year, and you know, if the harvest is good, may the all fathers bless us. Yeah. Bring the ham back.
All praise be. All praise be. Under his eye, you know, type shit. And that happens all the time. Like, that's how somebody new gets that's how we talk about losing recipes, but that's how we gain recipes. Every recipe that we talk about losing, somebody had to push the envelope to be like, nah, we do it like this now. You know what I'm saying? We putting turkey necks in the greens. You know what I'm saying? We doing turnip green, whatever. Like, somebody had to invent that shit. It didn't come out of nowhere. And so I feel like a conversation about a tradition is where somebody goes, hey, look, I think that this thing symbolizes something, and we know that it still symbolizes the thing, and I think we should try something different. Can we do that? I feel like it's a fair question, and to just go, no, I refuse, which is, I feel like I kind of understand, like, maybe from your point, she's also not being compromising, which I agree. She's maybe not being. Yeah.
I don't think she is being as compromising as she could.
As I'm making it out. Yeah.
And then especially with the expectation of dad is going to pay for everything.
Oh, so here's my thing. I think it's an expectation that the dad set. Now, if the dad said, hey, look, traditionally speaking, I don't want to pay for your wedding, or I'm only willing to do $10K, and we were having that conversation, I'd be on his side. I'd 100% be on his side if he said, I don't have that type of money, and I'll give you $50,000 for a house. I'm not giving you no $50,000 for a fucking wedding. I would be on his side if that's the conversation that we were having. But he offered to pay for it because I'm assuming his motivation was, I want to help my child. You know what I'm saying? So that comes with these conversations. So okay, so to answer the question of like, should we do away with the whole weddings thing? I'm like, look, if it's distanced enough that an individual doesn't feel a type of way about it, cool, keep it. If they do feel a type of way, you can change it. Because people have all different types. White people be having weddings where they take a little piece of string and tie it around each other's arm and shit, and then braid each other's hair into each other's hair, and they do all type of pagan shit, you know, Valhalla type, Viking type shit. And that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's goddamn skulls and candles everywhere. Cool. Do what you want to do. So I think that's, you know, fair. And if you say, hey, look, do you want to pay for my wedding for XYZ reason? And the parent, the father, and the mother say yes or no for XYZ reasons, then yeah. I don't know if I've answered the question well, because maybe I've gone all over.
I think you did, but I mean, there's absolutely no real way to answer that question just off the top of your head. Right. But I mean, you did a good job. But it's just like a thing. It was like, why go so hard in one direction? And I mean, you did give, like, you know, you did have your concessions, but maybe I'm just too gray on the matter. I'm just too, you know, instead of like, you know, I'll just be a lot of in the middle on a lot of shit. But yeah. Hey, I think the dad was definitely being hella fucking petty with the whole money situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way around that. Absolutely. Like, well, shit, pay for the shit yourself then, goddamn. That's some petty shit.
I think the Christmas tree and the Santa and all that shit where it gets like super far removed, I see your point there, which is that sometimes a tradition gets so far removed that literally its meaning changes. Like, we start, you know, having Easter bunnies, and then that gets abstracted into like chocolate Easter bunny, and it's like the meaning of it is not being, like, the initial meaning is not being communicated to anyone's mind through this ritual. Because I do think rituals are like spells that we cast on our own minds, and we teach little boys and little girls, hey, this is what this relationship looks like. We're miming shit. It's theater of education, if that makes sense. You indoctrinate motherfuckers into it.
Spelling, my brother.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a
Speak and spell.
Exactly, my nigga. Yes.
You see it and you say it, ABC, always be capitalism,
Exactly.
is what the alphabet really stands for.
We are the originators of the magical society of magical Negroes.
Bippity boppity boop. You know what I'm saying?
Of the historical society of magical Negroes, my brother. Yes. Written by D.K. Rawlings. I'm sorry.
Well, so in this situation, I actually do think that the way we talk about marriage, women, wives, giving away the bride, will you be my blah, 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 to have and to hold, to obey, blah, 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 all that shit. I do think I think it's a spell that we're casting on our own minds that still is like, I think if you want to say, yo, Christmas ain't about Saturnalia, I think that's a much stronger argument than saying that walking of brides down the aisle isn't about ownership. I think that's a much harder argument for you to make, because I think looking at the shit, the way people talk about it, the way people talk about the whole process, I think it still means what the fuck it means, even right now today. Like real gently, real lightly, like you said, they're not actually, but like on a real gentle tip.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like on a much gentler tip. It's not about like property, but like on some subconscious shit, it's absolutely still that way, because you can see it like in everyday life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how men talk about women in like specific instances, and it kind of has like a ring of, you're not really seeing and valuing her as a full human being. You're just kind of putting her in a box and like, you know, a thing to do that this is, you know what I'm saying? So I get that, but for the people that want to participate in it, and like, I still feel like women are mainly the ones that drive the want to get married one day at some time versus men. So it's like, hey, because I'm still like, what are we doing? Like, because if they want to get married, they want to participate in this shit and still find a lot of value in it. What are we doing? Or like, how can we make, or maybe like you're saying, how can we make this a bit more equitable?
And that's what we've been doing. We see it happen. Because I think when you're, like I was saying again, like when you're super close up on it, it feels like you got to think about how crazy white people probably felt when niggas started doing sit-ins at diners. But we look back at it now and we're like, y'all were out of your fucking minds. And I feel like in situations like this, when women start proposing and, you know, the bride and the groom wear the same shit, or the mom walks the groom down the aisle and all that kind of stuff, we look at it and go like, damn, what the fuck? I would never, But that's how new shit happens. That's how you reform and play with a system. Like the shit that they was doing back in the 60s, to do what we do now, they had to change so much shit. And the shit they were doing in the 60s, back in the 1910s, would have been considered blasphemous. And that's just what progress looks like. So in this situation, I don't think we have to throw the whole goddamn wedding out just because she said, hey, maybe can we not maybe a little bit do this one part? Well, fuck all weddings. Like nobody's saying that. I don't know. You got any closing bits or things that you gotta, because I don't want to cut you if you got the venom, if you've got the viper snake,
well,
you know,
I gotta have the venom, baby. It's all love, baby. It's all love.
Okay.
As we started this debate, man, we have these conversations with love. You know what I mean? I love bitches. I love weddings.
Yeah. They're the best.
I love niggas.
They're the best.
They're
amazing.
Forget the rest. Yeah. The dad, your bitch. You know what I mean? Put your wallet up. Fuck your life.
Yeah.
Cast them to the side with the demons. But still, you know what I mean? Have your baba ganoush.
Bang, bang.
Yes.
Forget about it. Look, folks. If you are out here and you happen to see some suspicious details of a GoFundMe page, you might be seeing a red flag. But at the same time, if you try and renege on the funding of your child's wedding because they ain't let you have your way, might be you that's waving a red flag. This has been Waving the Red Flag podcast. It's been your boy Eddie. It's been Josh. Thanks for joining us. We'll, of course, see you next week. If you want to see more of our content, our outtakes, if you want to make sure that you're like catching every single episode, start by subscribing. Start by turning on the notification bell, because we drop the episode every single week at the exact same time. If you want the bonus episodes that we drop every single week, join as a member. You can do that on Patreon. You can do it on Spotify. You can do it on YouTube. Any of those, you can get the bonus content. So wherever you listen, cop that. That's it. We'll see y'all next week. Be safe out there, people. You know what I'm saying? Girls, guys, theys, people, whoever you are.
Them, all of y'all.
We got you.
Be safe. We love you.
Platonically.
Respectfully. And, from a distance. We don't, but anyway, yes.
Non-sexual.
Not at all. Unless I'm just playing.
But yeah, unless
you want me.
what you trying to do? Yeah. If there's any baddies, I don't know.
I was just saying, I do need $1.
I hope so, yeah. I need a holla. That's what I need.
Holla,
All right.
Let me holla at you, bitch.
Let me holla. Holla, bitch. Let me holla at you.
Can I holla at you? Can I holla at you? Can I holla at you?